Hey guys, what's up? It's JR Cuber, and in this video we have another unboxing from thecubicle.us. So let's go ahead and open it up and see what's inside. Alright, so it looks like in here we have the Moyu WeiLong GTS3M. This cube's actually been out for a little while now, but I haven't had a chance to make a video on it until now, so we'll just go ahead and keep opening it. So it comes in a bit more of a rectangular shaped box than cube shape, but it is still magnetic. And inside we see the cube, and then it looks like there's some accessories next to it. So we'll go ahead and check out the little accessory pack first. Alright, it looks like we've got extra magnets, tensioning tools, a little screwdriver, and then I think this is for the compression springs, which we'll go ahead and take a look at as well. It looks like this also gives an example of how the cube is supposed to be displayed in the box, and then we also get some cards as well. So it looks like on the box itself, it's got this little thing on the bottom as well as this little piece, which I think are used to display the cube so that when you take it out of the box here, there is like a way to display it in the box. So we'll go ahead and try that out. It looks like we just pop that onto there and then pop this right in there. And now the cube can be displayed like that. This is kind of what it's supposed to look like. You know, you can't really see it with the overhead angle like that, but it does look very nice. All right, so now onto the cube itself. This is the latest 3x3 from Moyu. This is the third installment of the GTS lineup, which is right now one of their most popular lineups for sure. The GTS1 was very popular. The GTS2 is still arguably one of the best 3x3s you can buy. And now we have the GTS3. So the first interesting thing you'll notice about the outside of this cube is the ridges. They're very, very shallow. They're not very pronounced, much less than I kind of thought they would be when I first heard about them. So like when I thought of the ridges, I was thinking of like the Megaminx ridges that you get on like a Diane. But these ridges don't really feel like they will affect turning that much. They're supposed to add more grip. I'm not sure if that's actually going to be the case or not, but yeah, I have tried this cube a little bit at competitions just because it's been out for a while now, but I haven't actually had one in my hand in the studio. So now we're going to go ahead and give it a shot, see what it's like. Yeah, so the turning is really solid. It's yeah, it's really good. The magnet strength is quite strong too. That's something I didn't really notice on the other cubes I tried, is how strong the magnets actually are. It feels really stable. With the strength of the magnets, it feels like the weight is really equally distributed throughout the entire layer. So it has a bit of a blocky feeling, which some people may like, some people may not. It still is quite easy to move though. It's not slow or anything, and it is pretty fluid. I don't know. It's not the most fluid cube I've ever tried. It feels more on the blockier side for me, at least right out of the box. But overall, it's not too bad. First impressions are pretty solid. It's very loud though. It's very clacky. So that's definitely something to keep in mind. I don't know how much that will change with lubing. It feels incredibly dry right now. We can go ahead and take a look at a piece. So here is a GTS2 edge. We can kind of compare the two. The main difference that I'm seeing is in the base. So here there's some more tracks cut into the base and it looks like a completely separate piece, whereas the GTS2 is just a single, like a simple two-piece assembly. But overall, pretty similar. And then for the corner, you can see some grooves, some tracks on the corner that aren't present on the GTS2, and also this little protrusion at the bottom of the base is not there on the GTS2, so it's probably for stability or something along those lines. Yeah, overall, right now the cube feels very springy, it feels really loose, and I don't know, it's just kind of interesting. Like, it has a very blocky feel, but at the same time it feels like it could be moving a lot more fluidly. Like, there's something inside holding it back from turning more easily. Like I said, it could be the magnets, I'm not entirely sure, but I do want to check out the spring system, because I've heard about it a little bit, but I actually don't really know too much about it. So as you guys can see, underneath the center cap here, we see the screw, but then there's this little blue ring around it, and if we get up closer on it, I don't know if you guys will be able to see that, but there's like little grooves kind of that the little blue piece kind of sticks into in the center. And as you can see, it doesn't go all the way around. There's some cuts in the in the piece. Basically, what the idea is that you can change the compression of the spring. So this is a pretty new concept. This isn't really in any other cubes that I know of at the moment, but it's becoming more and more popular. I've seen more people talking about it in Facebook groups and stuff, like people spring compressing their cubes, which apparently gives it a very different feeling. So I think that is what this is for. There's two separate pieces though, and I'm not sure how they work together exactly. I'm wondering if this... Yeah, there we go. So if you put this on and you start turning it, you can hear it click. And I imagine that changes the level of compression that's being applied. So let's see. I'm not really sure how that works. I think after a while it just resets back to where it was. Yeah, so now it clicks all the way back down. So every time you click it, it lifts up a little bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it up at the highest level it can go, and then do that on every side and see kind of what the difference is. All right, so what I think is going on here is that at the bottom, like at the bottom of the steps, kind of, the spring is as uncompressed as it can get. And then as you start to turn the little piece, the spring kind of gets pushed up more, so it becomes more and more compressed until right now it's at the most compressed it can be. I'm pretty sure that's what it is right now. So I'll go ahead and put the center caps back on, and then we can go ahead and see how this feels. Huh. Yeah, that does have a bit of a different feeling for sure. So interestingly, the cube actually feels more fluid now. I don't know if that's supposed to happen. We can try corner cutting. Corner cutting is definitely not as good, right? So right now it's very, very harsh, even at line to line right here. But it can't even do 45. Like, it can do 45, yeah, not at all. But strangely enough, maybe this is due to the tensions or something like that, the cube feels really fluid. But at the same time, there are times like if it's not really aligned very well and your turning isn't as fluid as it could be, you're going to lock up much more harshly than you would, because you can't really force your way through a turn. So I do feel like I have to turn very accurately kind of on this highest tension. But I mean, as you guys can see, I'm turning like really fluidly. It's really weird. At the lowest level, the cube felt a lot more squishy to me. It didn't, you know, it didn't feel like it was as, yeah, it didn't feel like it was as stable as it could be. The magnets were helping with that, but I think because of, you know, the kind of squishy springs, it didn't have as balanced of a feeling really. It felt like the inside of the cube was wanting the puzzle to move faster than it really could, you know, and the magnets were kind of stopping it. But now that the springs are a little bit more compressed, the cube feels more controllable and it has a more balanced feeling to it. I think somewhere more in the middle is probably going to be better in the long run, just because, you know, the cube doesn't corner cut that well, which is not ideal. But yeah, it's going to be fun to kind of mess around with the tensions plus the added thing with the spring compression, which is really cool. I think it's an interesting way to kind of customize your cubes. I think it's kind of the next evolution beyond the GES system that GAN uses, where you just have different tension of springs. What this allows you to do is to basically change the spring tension without having to actually switch out the springs entirely. But yeah, overall the cube does feel more rigid now, whereas it felt kind of looser at the lower tension. It's going to be up to you which feeling you prefer, and it also is going to depend on whether you have magnets or not. Because the magnets are stronger in this cube, I think a more rigid feel complements it better. And I definitely prefer my cubes to be kind of more blocky. It forces me to be more accurate in my turning, which is really good because, you know, my turns are not very accurate, right? And especially because I've been using a little magic for so long, I've noticed my turning becoming a lot more aggressive, and you know, I rely too much on the corner cutting and too much on, you know, the looseness of the puzzle. So it might be good to use a more rigid, sturdy cube for a while to kind of break that habit, but still be able to turn quickly and accurately, which is very, very important. And yeah, overall, I really like it. The ridges don't bother me. They are going to take some getting used to for sure, but in general, I don't mind them. And I think they could actually be useful. But yeah, overall, I'm really enjoying this cube. I'm just going to go ahead and throw some solves up on the screen real fast while I finish out this video. Anyways, guys, my first impressions on the GTS3M are really good. I think this could be a serious contender for my main. I really actually do like the feeling a lot, and I really do appreciate that stable feel that I don't get on the Yushin Little Magic. Even though that cube is really fast and you can spam turns really well, I feel like this cube will train me to be more precise with my turns, which I really need to work on. So you guys can pick this cube up for $35 from thecubicle.us. The link will of course be in the description. And yeah, that pretty much does it for this unboxing. Thanks of course to the Cubicle for sending this cube to me for free to review, and also for sponsoring the video. If you guys like this video, make sure to hit that like button, turn on notifications, and subscribe if you haven't already. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.